going on? It's Gregg Valentino, the Rambling Freak, yet again, in your face. What's going on, guys? How you doing? Alright, listen. Nothing major this week. Got to start slowly, progressively making these a little quicker. You know what I'm saying? Not as long, because I have a tendency to rant a lot, and then I get told, you got to cut the video down. It's too long. Nobody's going to want to listen to all that shit. So, okay. Alright. Get the hint. Alright, so listen. You know, I do a show every Monday night. Well, on Ironmag Labs on their Facebook. So by the time you watch this video, it's been probably 2-3 weeks already. But I had Mike Quinn on. And he came on the show, unbeknownst to me, and it was great. It was a great show. I mean, we talked about everything. We were talking about, you know, stuff like, you know, we were talking a little bit about, like, steroids. Obviously, you know, me and Mike Quinn get together, forget about it. You know, we're old school, and we've known each other a long time, over 20 years. And, well, more than that, anyway. But, so, regardless. So, when you know, we were talking about stuff, and, you know, we were talking about Anadrol and all that shit. And he was telling a story about how one time he was taking Anadrol and shit, and it was making him so fucking aggressive that somebody cut him off. And he actually ripped the steering wheel right off the fucking, you know, right, bam, ripped the steering wheel right off the thing. And he was saying, right off the steering column. If you gotta forgive me, I'm getting old, man. My brain is shot. So he said, cops came, and he said, you know, I guess he got out of the car and went after the guy and stuff, but the guy took off. And he said that he was still holding the fucking steering wheel with half the steering column still on it in his hand, you know, when the cops came. And you know, he was just saying, we were talking about a lot of that kind of stuff and crazy things that we were there for. And I was right there when him and when Mike Quinn, it was me, Bob Bonham, Mike Quinn, we were talking, and then Jim Mannion, we were at a party, and Jim Mannion was there, and so was Vince McMahon. And Vince McMahon, I guess, you know, this is just before, as he was probably around the time he announced that he was going to open up this, you know, the WBF, Bodybuilding Federation. And for a while, he was hanging out with the IFBB, okay? And Mannion got up and went after him. And they had to hold Mannion back. And not for nothing, but McMahon stood up. But it looked, Jim Mannion was pissed. I don't know, you know, the way I thought Jim Mannion was going to kick his ass. But regardless, it never got, Mike Quinn jumped right in the middle of that and grabbed Jim Mannion, held him back and stuff. And so did, you know, Steve Weinberger. But it was a crazy fucking day. You know, and then me and Bob Bonham, we got in, we just stood next to McMahon, because in case he was going to jump on top of, you know, while they were pulling Mannion away, Bob and I were going to try to, you know, grab McMahon and just calm him down. But he you know, he stayed calm, and then it was just a big scene. But the other thing too was, you know, I remember, you know, my friend Tommy, he used to date this girl. Her name was Thea Bennington. She was a huge female bodybuilder. She was like an Amazon, you know. I mean, she was like 6'1", a big girl, nice girl, real nice girl. And Tommy got in a fight with her, and Mike Quinn jumped in that fight, and then it was like a free for all. It was crazy. It was at Night of Champions years ago. You know, in the night, it's like fucking early ¡90s and stuff. But you know, we had a lot of fun. We just had a lot of fun. We telling a lot of stories and stuff. You know, crazy stuff about some of the lifts and how you know, we were down at, you know, Mike actually stayed with Jimmy Pellechia. No, Jimmy Pellechia actually stayed with Mike for like 2 weeks, and he was you know, he was talking about how, you know, Jimmy used to, you know, was doing a 500-pound presses behind the neck, and you know, he was doing reverse grip benching for reps, for like 10-15 reps with 600 and something pounds, you know. And I was, because me and Mike, we were talking, you know, and I was telling Mike about how I was spotting Jimmy one time. He did an expo, and he was on stage, and I was spotting him, and he was doing 700 or 800, I can't remember, I think it was like 800 pounds on a reverse bench. And I told him, bro, you're going to have to fucking get this shit, because at one point I was the only spotter, and I'm telling you, I can't deadlift that shit off your fucking chest. You know what I mean? I never remember. Might have been 700. I can't remember. 700 or 800. It's a long time ago. You know, this is when Jimmy was, he was a fucking animal. Jimmy the Bull Pellechia. That's what we're talking about. And I remember, you know, him fucking reversing that shit. He was doing it for reps. For reps. You know? I mean, they don't make guys strong like that. I mean, I've spotted him 600 pounds behind the neck press, you know, for like 10 reps. And, you know, and I've done this shit. You know, I've done this shit, you know, in the gym, but I've also done it with him on stage where I'm, you know, because we're personal friends, Jimmy the Bull. And I remember telling, you know, I used to tell him, bro, you got to get other spotters too, because I can't fucking, you know, but he liked the guy in the middle, you know what I mean? So I was like, fuck that. Tell him, you know, get a guy here, get a guy there, because I'm not going to fucking die trying to fucking deadlift this shit off, you know, if he gets stuck. But he did it, and he did it for a lot of reps. And, you know, Mike Quinn was telling stories about that shit, you know, how strong Jimmy Pellechia is. I mean, not for nothing. You know, Jimmy was an animal. I mean, he used to curl like 150-pound dumbbells, and he'd do that for 10 reps on each arm, you know? I mean, it was crazy. Or, you know, I think Quinn said 175 pounds. I don't remember, but I know from being around Jimmy, being in the gym, seeing, you know, being at a lot of expos with him and stuff and doing stuff. I've seen him do it for many reps. I mean, he would just stand there and, you know, curl on a regular basis, 150-pound dumbbells. I mean, like you would curl a 25 or a 35-pound dumbbell. And what the other thing that people don't realize is Jimmy the Bull, Jimmy Pellechia, and, you know, Quinn and I were talking about, he was MMA, bro. Bro, he was MMA before anybody else was MMA. I'm talking about in the 80s and stuff. You know, he was knocking dudes out in bars and stuff. You know, he could kick over your head. You know, I mean, not only that, but he could grapple. I mean, you know, he does all that shit. Plus, his hands are like fucking weapons. He reminds me a lot of, believe it or not, Boss Rutten. If you're ever around Boss Rutten, okay, now I've done a great interviews with Boss Rutten. I've talked with Boss Rutten. Boss Rutten is a bad dude, but they remind me a lot of each other. You can tell that they're very stable guys when they talk to you. They're nice, they're funny, and everything, but you can tell. It's almost like petting a big pit bull. You know, like these guys, you go over your friend's house, he's got this giant pit bull, and a dog will come over and sniff you and be all friendly. But, you know, when you look at it, you know, holy fuck, if this dog ever snaps, I'm done. It'll fucking kill you. But it's nice. It's a nice dog. Okay? That's the way Jimmy the Bull is, and that's exactly the way Boss Rutten is. Boss Rutten's the same way. Nice guy. You know what I mean? Boss Rutten was once telling me a story. He was driving on a road, and some guy was fucking swerving into him, cutting him off, telling him, get up, pull over, pull over, pull over, pull over, you know? And he was like, oh, all right, I'll pull over. And he pulls over, and he gets out of the car, and the guy starts coming at him, and all of a sudden the guy realized he happened to be a fan of MMA, or maybe did MMA himself, but he realized that this is Boss Rutten. And he said, the guy stopped, and then he started backing up like this. And he said, oh shit, I'm really sorry, man. I didn't know you were Boss Rutten. Holy fuck, you're Boss Rutten. Oh shit, man, dude, I'm really sorry, man. I just lost my fuse for a moment there, you know, this, that, the other thing. And Boss told him, listen to me. I should kick your fucking ass right now. I mean, I could hurt you right now. He said, but maybe this will teach you a lesson. You should think twice about who you pull over and who you get out of the car. Because you don't know. I could have had a gun and shot you, or you could have fucking tried to use your hands with me, and I would have kicked your fucking ass, and you would have shit, you know, you would have been in bad trouble. The guy shit his pants. The guy was shitting his pants. He was like, thank you, boss. You're right, I'm sorry. He was almost crying. You know what I mean? Because that's, you know. But Jimmy the Bull's the same way. The only thing is Jimmy the Bull, once you pull his string, bro, there'd be no stopping. If you could apologize or whatever, you're going to be on the ground, and you're going to be missing teeth. You know what I mean? That's if he doesn't choke you out or whatever the fuck. But, you know, I know, you know, Jimmy the Bull once was down in Florida. He was telling me a story. You know, he was driving a moped, and he was feeling real good, you know. And so he even had his girl on the back of the fucking moped. And some guy was driving by and almost hit him, so he chased the guy. While he was on a moped, he's chasing a fucking van, and he's kicking the side of the van like this, and he's denting the van. And, you know, Jimmy the Bull, now this is when he was really jacked. You know, and a guy sees this bald-headed fucking monster. You know, I mean, you could tell he's fucking nuts. And he, you know, kicking a bull, he actually kicked the fucking van. The guy in the van panicked and was trying to drive away, but Jimmy was chasing him down in the Florida Keys. You know, It's the kind of things that, but anyway, Mike Quinn and I, we had fun. We had a lot of fun on that show. We had a lot of fun. I mean, if you're looking for the show, I think it was September, was it the 18th or something like that? So if you look for the, on Ironmag Labs Facebook, if you look for that one, it'll say on the title, maybe the best show ever. It was a great show. We got a lot of hits on it. A lot of people liked it. Mike Quinn talked about, his days in Gold's Gym and the crazy shit, Barbarian Brothers are fighting and stuff. I talk about the Barbarian Brothers fighting. One Barbarian Brother threw up on my girl's feet and shit like that, I mean, I knew those guys. I used to give them rides home all the time. They were Momos. We were talking about Lyle Alzado. Lyle Alzado in the gym and how he was there. I was there too when Lyle Alzado was going to fight the Barbarian. Both of them at the same time was going to kick their ass. He's seen them kick their ass. But that's because the Barbarian Brothers had a party and shit in Lyle Alzado's house while he was gone. They were his friend. And Lyle Alzado told the Barbarian Brothers, look, why don't you, watch the house for me a little bit. Keep an eye on the house. Here's the keys. If you want to swim in the pool, go swim in the pool. And they did a little bit more than that. They had a big party over there, and people came over and they wrecked the house, kind of like in a movie Risky Business. If you ever watched that movie, Joel, I don't remember giving you permission for a party. And sometimes you just gotta say, what the fuck? Anyway. Alright. That's enough of that, alright? Just figure you guys get a kick out of some of that stuff and hearing some of those stories and everything. It was a good time. For me, 1980, 81, 82, 83, like that, I was in that Gold's Gym, and it was fucking great, I mean, I still lived here in New York. I'd fly out. One year, I think 82, I lived there the whole year, but, I stayed out there the whole year. I didn't live there. Never used the word live. Not me. I live in New York. I'm always going to live in New York, but, it was a great time. And I lived there in an era, look, I just said it again, I was there in an era that you could never get back. I used to see Arnold in the gym. Arnold every morning, 5 o'clock in the morning. He used to train at World's Gym. I like to train at World's Gym because World's Gym didn't play music, okay? And I don't like to listen to music when I train. I know that's nuts, okay? But that's me. I listen to sports radio. Over here, I listen to ESPN, maybe Michael K. or something like that. Or I used to listen to, Mike Francesa on the FAN, or, stuff. Probably people have no idea what I'm talking about. But I used to listen to sports radio or watch ESPN. That's because I'm a big sports guy. That's what I like to train to. But I would work out, have great workouts at World's Gym, but I would train mostly, I would do my hardcore workouts there, but I'd spend way more time at Gold's Gym, because Gold's Gym was fucking crazy. It was just fun being in there, you know what I mean? But anyway, listen. This is Gregg Valentino telling you thanks for being here. Stop fucking around. See you in the next video. Ramble Freak, baby. In your face. Motherfucker.